Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 10, Chapter 33, Faults and Failures, Part 1 of 2. People may say that the Vedas are only a collection of sounds, a series of letters, but they are much more. Veda is wisdom. Wisdom is God. The culture of Bharat, built on the Veda, elaborates this truth and enjoins its practice. This truth has now to be lived in daily life so that the dire problems affecting the individual and society can be solved. Many practices and patterns of behavior have been added to this culture in the course of history. It is necessary to discard these and purify the outlook. This is one of the main tasks of this organization. Economic development and 5-year plans may raise the standard of living, but unless, along with these, the fundamental wisdom enshrined in the Veda is assimilated by the people, such progress will end in disaster. Morality, a virtuous character, is the very foundation of progress, the very basic need. It grows in the realm of the spirit, but today the spirit is neglected. Physical and animal needs are catered for. They are accepted as the ends of living. All efforts are directed to these. In the Krita Yuga, Dharma, righteousness, was accepted and sought after as the very base of life. In the Treta Yuga, the next age, God, who was installed in the heart, was accepted and sought. In the Dwarapa Yuga, developing contacts and attachment with kinsmen and friends was considered enough to keep one safe and happy. In the Kali Yuga, the modern age, food and sustenance are taken as the very essentials of life. Developing love is the way to deserve leadership. People have now more faith in medicine, which has taken the place of good food, than in Madhava, God. Life is built on capsules and tablets. Pills, matra, supply the power for this pilgrimage, yatra, to God knows where. Examine the contents of the pocket of anyone going to office. You will not find there is the picture of God or a copy of the Bhagavad Gita, but you are certain to find some aspirin or Saradone tablets. It is the same in the case of boys going to school or fathers going to the cinema. Even the vanity bags of ladies contain tablets and capsules. Though you may dine on the best of foods, pills are certain to ruin health. You should not make these temporary makeshifts a permanent habit. Even great personages who claim to be masters of spiritual learning and teachers of spiritual discipline are upset when the habits that have mastered them are disturbed. Their japa or dhyana cannot proceed unimpaired when the morning cup of coffee is delayed for a few minutes. See how weak they are. What can such men achieve? How can they realize the Atma, all-pervading self, as their reality? They care more for the body they live in than for themselves. They have no faith in the Atma which they yearn to visualize. They have no genuine yearning for wisdom. They are only imitating the ways and words of others who have gone before. Develop love. Demonstrate love. Draw love from your surrounding. That is the way to deserve leadership. Spiritual attainments shun publicity. There are many who go about the country preaching about japa and dhyana, pretending to be highly advanced experts. They claim to be masters so that they can collect huge audiences and show off their talents and skills. But such exhibition of talent is not a sign of spiritual attainment. Spiritual attainments shun publicity. Spiritual practice is to be done in silence, away from public gaze. The name and form of God are extolled by Meera as precious gems. Precious gems are not brought out as wares to the marketplace. Only vegetables are so exhibited for all to see. The units of our organization should not encourage pomp or show, for they are alien to the spiritual path. The Sai organization is set up to develop and foster love. It is not set up through compulsion. It arose from the heart and it expands the heart. The inner desire to achieve love and expand love has taken outer shape as this organization. Our thoughts are the cotton, the desires which they mold are the threads, and the intermingling and the interaction of these desires is the cloth, made out of warp and woof. When the threads, desires, are removed one by one, the cloth, mind, disappears. It is best to have as few desires as possible. Less luggage, more comfort, makes travel a pleasure, as the railways remind you. If you have to lessen your luggage for a short railway journey, how urgent it is to lessen the luggage when you are on the much longer journey of life. The process of lessening luggage is called, in spiritual language, vairagya, detachment. The Atma, the formless absolute, when it is reflected through the sattvic, pure, unagitated medium, reveals itself as Ishvara or God. When it is revealed in a rajasic, active, passionate medium, it is Jiva or the individual person. When it is revealed in a tamasic, dull, inert medium, it is matter. All is Atma, only cognized through different media. The Atma is the one reality, the Advaita, the one without a second. All good acts lead to immortality. There are certain characteristics of human behavior from which we can draw good lessons. When a man does a good deed, say feeding the poor or building a temple, he feels an urge to share his joy with others. But when he is prompted by a bad urge to do a bad act, he does not want to share the shame with others. Again, think of another trait of behavior. When man proposes to do a good act, he is prone to postpone it, for something tells him that he will be alive the next day, or a few days, or a long time after. But when he decides on doing something bad, he does it the very moment. I may not be alive tomorrow, he feels. All wrong acts lead to death. All good acts lead to immortality. That is the lesson you have to learn from these. The morning shadow moves in front of you. However fast you run, you cannot catch it on plain or mountain. Or the shadow may pursue you and you cannot escape from it. This is the nature of desire. You may pursue it or it may pursue you, but you cannot overcome it or match it. Desire is an unsubstantial shadow, but turn desire inward towards spiritual treasure, then it yields substantial results. When you are engaged in the various activities of this organization, dedicate all desires to God. Do everything as the command of the God, whom you have installed in your hearts. Elevate the human into the divine. Office bearers of all units are here. You are about to consider and approve various rules and regulations, but you must first consider and make certain the answer to a basic question. Why are we in this organization? What is the purpose? You must have the firm belief that the aim of this organization is to remove the obstacles that keep man away from God, that separate Manava from Madhava, humanity from divinity. There can be no human, it is all divine. The organization must elevate the human into the divine. There are certain persons in our organization who revel in factions and who dwell on differences. There are others who have no faith in it or its task. Others have no enthusiasm for work. They are full of envy or malice. When you water a margosa tree, you cannot get the sweet mango from it. Pour the water of devotion to the tree of sadhana, you will get the sweet fruit of bliss. Treat everyone as the embodiment of the divine which you worship. Treat every word and deed of yours as an offering to the Lord whom you adore. Then you can escape the taint of envy or malice, falsehood or greed, anger or egotism. These evil traits should not be found in anyone in this organization. If you take in as members only those whom you like and keep away anyone who has faith and devotion, you are committing sacrilege against God. This organization does not attach value to the likes and dislikes of any office bearer. It is based on devotion and faith only. Whoever has these and loves the organization as his own life, all such have a place in it, have a right to be in it. End of Part 1 of 2. All India Conference, Prashanti Nilayam, November 21st, 1970.